Alright, when we last left our band of intrepid adventurers, they had done battle with the fiercest creature that had been seduced by the power of the pit, a wormling black dragon. After returning to Waterdeep, Zacharias had revealed to the party that he believes what they found was a crashed piece of a Neogi vessel, and he promises to investigate further with his contacts. Now we rejoin them after a good rest in some comfortable beds, and their first morning as an established party finds them sought out by Zacharias again over breakfast. He is not one to let the iron go cold, it seems, and if they are going to make a name for themselves in Waterdeep, it is going to take more than one adventure, and this cunning wizard thinks he knows just the thing.
In the morning, when you are eating, Zacharias himself makes an appearance. My friends, it is another fine day in Waterdeep, and I have another task for you.
Oh boy, let's hear it.
Near Waterdeep, there is a small town known as Spinner's Folly, where the people make their living spinning fine silks for clothing. By using locally sourced spider silk, they craft some of the finest clothing in the north. Resistant to tears and soiling, it might be no Mirabaran chainmail, but it is favored by spellcasters and nobles alike. Every 6 months, these people hold a celebration known as Gathering Day, where the locals invade a nearby ruin to gather the spider silk, and as such, they require the assistance of adventurers. Participating in what is considered by some to be a rite of passage in adventuring ways would both be lucrative and spread word of the party's deeds quite far and in the right places. Unfortunately, these duties come with a catch. Though giant spiders are immense, venomous creatures not to be taken lightly, the town cannot risk their legendary cash cow being destroyed, so the group must subdue the spiders, but not kill them. A daunting task indeed, but one he believes Angela and her companions are more than capable of. Thankfully, Spinner's Folly itself is just over a day's travel by foot, so after a night's sleep in some old ruins and passing by a foot patrol from Waterdeep, Betheniel spots the village's buildings in the distance. As the group approaches, they see, despite the extremely early hour, the townsfolk are already about, most too excited for the coming events of the day to stay asleep in their beds, as this is the most exciting day of the year for everyone in the village. Gathering Day.
When you arrive in the town, it is slightly past morning, and already the town is abuzz. There are children playing in the streets. There are several large combination of paper and wood effigies that have been built. All of them look like spiders. All big, 8-legged, dangling with, black paper fur on their limbs.
Are they burning these effigies?
Not yet. All of the people seem happy. It seems to be a majority human and halfling town. There's currently a small fair going on in Waterdeep, like pretty much all the time, in the run-up to this big event that you're all preparing for. This town seems even more happy, but it's all based around the spiders, which just makes it slightly weird. When your band heads into town, you are almost immediately met with strange sidelong stares, the kind that adventurers normally get when they go into a town, because people, you don't know them. Oh, who are they? Definitely don't look like your standard guard or traveling minstrel. But once whispers start to go around that you are adventurers, and once some of the people start to recognize you from having spoken to your patron, people start cheering when you pass by their homes. They are excited, ecstatic to have you. And once you reach the town square, the mayor and several exceedingly well-dressed people, all clad in the finest spider silk clothing, are there to meet you. The mayor is a portly man wearing a glaringly yellow tuxedo made of spider silk, complete with a 3-foot-tall top hat.
That's dapper as hell.
Suddenly, I don't want to be here anymore.
And he cries out, "Welcome, adventurers, to Spinner's Folly." And then he turns and addresses the crowd. These people, these fine folk, were sent by none other than Zacharias Rowe himself. and they are here to assist in our gathering day, and everybody cheers. And as the cheering seems to have no signs of subsiding anytime soon, he approaches your group and starts to talk in a lower fashion. Greetings, and welcome to our town. Zacharias sent word ahead. Is there anything that you will need, anything at all? Well, you're here. The entirety of Spinner's Folly is at your service. We obviously can't offer much than the ways of city fare, but we have our own hospitality, and we extend it as best we can.
Looking at my inventory, I'm wondering if they do actually sell perhaps health potions.
I wouldn't mind a piece of cheese.
A piece of cheese on a long stick. Yes, not a problem.
Uh,
Please, and he waves down a young man from nearby and says, "Go to the hard cheese stand and get a Gouda cheese wheel for our friend here, and put it on the end of a 10-foot pole and bring it back."
Now,
well,
it might come in handy, who knows?
yes, please. I guess.
Maybe if you run into a really big mouse, you can use it to lead it away. I don't know.
Do the spiders like cheese though?
Probably not.
The spider's like meat bags. So do you want to actually
Worried?
ask him about the healing potions?
Yeah, so that would be a nice thing to ask.
Well, we don't have any alchemist here. We do have a hedge mage. She visits the town for every festival. I can see what she has
Okay.
in stock and whether or not there are any salves or potions that she might be willing to part with. I'll send a runner to talk with her. Or if you would rather talk with her yourself, she is 3 stands down from the hard cheeses. You will find her selling oddly colored flowers.
Oddly colored flowers.
Yes,
Got it.
she uses some kind of strange magic in order to change the local carnations into different colors and sells them.
Oh, that's fascinating. Well, thank you for the info.
If there is anything else, please let me know. I will be more than happy to help you.
Yes, we just nod awkwardly.
Yeah, I want the yellow suit to go away.
Angie would have certain worries about this place, this whole spider business, but she is politely keeping them to herself.
I want to check out about those flowers. I'm kind of curious, yes.
All right.
Well, let's head over there.
When he said hedge mage, you're relatively sure that it was the nice way of saying witch, because when you approach, that is exactly what she is dressed as. You will notice immediately upon talking to her that her voice sounds significantly younger than the gray hair and long hooked nose would actually have you believe. And it becomes obvious at just a casual glance that she is in costume. But she does indeed
okay.
have carnations of several dozen different colors. It's only 2 copper pieces for a bundle of 6.
You can always purchase it and you can pick it back up when we're done.
She'll flip down a wooden sign in front of her counter that says, "We deliver!" I'm guessing that you're probably here for actual magical potions, however. I do have a small assortment of those, 10 in total.
As thanks for their assistance in the upcoming Gathering Day celebrations, the Hedge Mage grants the party a discount on healing potions, which they gratefully take advantage of. Having some gold on their persons from the previous adventure, the group is thrilled to find that some enterprising vendors have even headed to the town, knowing that the celebration would bring adventurers directly to their stalls. Sadly, the pickings are a little slimmer this year due to so many goods being set aside for sale in Waterdeep for the much grander festival, but some members are quite happy to see that their new duds are far more protective than their old armor. Just as they were leaving the stall, however, they see a blur of motion in their peripheral vision.
A woman bumps into Natalia. Obviously, Natalia stands as a rather solid figure, especially in her armor. And when the woman bumps into her, a book that she was carrying pops up out of her hands, spins in the air, and lands in Natalia's arms.
Steal it!
What would I even roll to steal?
To steal it?
Steal? Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to steal it?
Yeah, I want to fucking steal it.
Okay. It doesn't actually prove to be difficult to steal, because as you tuck it away quickly into your bag, the woman stands up and dusts herself off and looks at you a little bit in surprise and says, "Oh, it's yours now," and runs off down the road.
Ah, fuck. Maybe I don't want this book. What is this book? Anyway, what is this book?
Natalia pulls out the book, and you find that it is a kind of autobiography. The image of a smiling woman has been painstakingly drawn on the cover in lifelike detail. She has dark hair, a soft blush on her cheeks, and a knowing smile. On the side, it says, Iliad Days, an autobiography.
Huh. Okay. Can I skim through it?
Sure. You start skimming through it, and it reads like an autobiography of a sorcerer who was slightly self-interested.
Curious about the nature of the implicitly suspicious tome, the party finds a quiet place to cast Detect Magic on the book, and it starts to glow.
Not only does the book glow, the woman on the front of it looks at you, animates, and says, "Well, of course I'm magical. It wouldn't be an interesting autobiography if I wasn't."
Interesting. And what do you do?
I'm a sorcerer. It's like you haven't read my book.
Well, excuse me, ma'am. I don't have time to read every magical book that falls into my lap.
Are you trapped in the book?
Oh, no. No one could trap someone as powerful as Iliad Days.
Did you just decide this is where you're going to live now?
No, I'm not really her. Well... And she looks around and off into the blank distance behind her, then back at you. I'm a book.
Right. Should we just burn it?
As if it would be flammable.
As if I wouldn't just cast you into a river.
Who
I don't have time for cursed magical bullshit.
says I'm cursed?
I don't know. The fucking witch that ran away from you?
I'm not cursed, I'm helpful. I know all kinds of stuff. I've read my own book hundreds of times.
Oh, you've read your own book.
I am a very powerful fragment of the greatest sorcerer who ever walked the southern
Was that so
marshes.
hard? Thank you. God damn. It's magical bullshit. Too much for me.
Anything that I could do to help you would probably pale in comparison to the sheer amount of knowledge that you could glean from reading my book.
Yeah, I thought you knew everything.
I know lots about Iliad Days and her great adventures.
Oh, I'm glad she's a great person.
She was a great person, actually. I will have you know.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm really glad to hear
She was
that.
very knowledgeable, and I
bet she had an autobiography wrote about her, didn't she?
She frowns and makes a puffy-cheeked expression in Natalia's direction.
I love the chemistry developing.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
It's an
Let's-
autobiography. She wrote it herself.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry. Let's just restart. Hi, my name's Natalia. Your shitty book.
You can learn a lot about making friends just from reading my book.
I think I make plenty of friends.
I can see you are surrounded by people who are lavishing you with adoration wherever you go.
Yes, hundreds of them.
Yep, totally.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
I see them all
I
over the
know,
place.
everywhere.
Yeah, look at them worshiping at your feet.
In fact, they love me so much I'm going to destroy this village and put my fucking water slide and summer home here. We're gonna call it Natalia Topia.
Easy there, easy.
A child at the end of the alleyway drops his cotton candy and runs off screaming.
Finally leaving the town to head into the ruins, the party finds themselves the source of much interest. And as the sun rises over the distant mountains, pinkening the sky, not only are folk crowding the northern exit from the town, but a man with an easel even stands next to one of the stalls, quickly sketching away so that this moment can later be captured in a painting. Zacharias certainly picked the right event to spread some news of their group, so long as they can finish the strange task they've been given. Entering the nearby ruins isn't difficult as the well-tread paths wind through many crumbling stones and fallen arches. What was once obviously a grand construction, perhaps even a town, is now swallowed whole by nature, with only its bones remaining. Though the mentioned entry looms nearby, lights from still flickering torches draws the attention of the group, and they move to investigate. In the circular ruins near a once great statue, the group finds a camp that has been recently abandoned. Unfortunately, while they look around to find out who left the stone circle, ringed with burning torches and abandoned tents, they hear a strange rumbling sound of stone being dragged against stone.
Near the feet of the statue, something finally does wander into the edge of the torchlight. The scraping sound was most definitely something that you did not want to run into. The thing which strides into the clearing stands over 14 feet tall, squat shoulders, a thick, heavy brow, and is carrying a great club sized to its giant body. It is a hill giant.
Oh, great.
The hill giant strides across the stones slowly, and then turns his head to look in your direction and spots the group of you.
Let's try not to act hostile.
Halfway across the expanse of these ruins, leans back, places one hand on the large sack at his waist, and then goes, and yawns.
Sorry, large sir, we hope we didn't wake you. We didn't mean to interrupt. As a matter of fact, we're leaving.
The giant tilts its head forward and fixes Angie with a slightly glassy gaze and speaks in broken common. You warm food, no. And he turns and starts walking his way out of the ruins.
Huh.
The hill giant is not your concern. It's the Bugbear ambush!
Oh, God.
Betheniel was the first to spy the ambush, crying out to alert his allies before casting Toll the Dead on the nearest opponent, and the sound of the dolorous bell rings through the clearing, causing the creature to stumble in its dash forward. Seeing they've been detected, the bugbears waste no time in engaging, giving their own war cry in return and rushing into the party. Their battle line dashes forward to clash with the fighters as the archers circle their group like vultures, bowstrings drawn taut as they look for openings. Seeing the archers preparing their shots, Ara hurriedly casts a ward around Natalia, the shield coming just in time to deflect an arrow flying for her skull. Enraged, Natalia takes it personally, grasping her longsword in two hands and carving into the bugbear skirmisher before her, then offering a rude gesture to the archer who'd almost had her head. Steadying herself, Angie met the sergeant of the group in combat, going blow for blow with her opponent on the field, though neither could penetrate the other's defenses just yet. A few steps behind her, Betheniel found himself pinned down by an archer, arrows tearing through the tent he had been investigating as he stepped out from behind it to counterattack with his goddess's magic when he could find a window. Just as Angela struck a heavy blow against the bugbear she was facing, the archer saw his chance and sent an arrow at the extended warrior that caught her beneath the arm. The sergeant was no fool and redoubled his efforts as she fell to one knee, bringing his own blade down on her shield arm and drawing blood once more. Seeing his friend and charge imperiled, Betheniel breaks from his cover, dodging an arrow from the second archer to barely reach Angela in time, his shield guarding him from blows as he steadies the girl with some healing magic. On the other side of the battlefield, a bugbear archer rushes Natalia, drawing a blade in his other hand, but she meets his charge and knocks his bow aside before cleaving through his armor, dealing a devastating critical hit that causes him to scramble back and flee to a safe distance. Ara, meanwhile, steps from behind the stones and an arrow passes through her chest harmlessly as she calls down cascades of radiance, controlling her illusionary duplicate that stands in the open while tucked safely behind cover. As the sergeant leaps forward to strike down the cleric, he is met with as much metal as he is steel. Betheniel turning the blade aside with his vambrace and giving Angela the opening she needs to lunge around her ally and impale their enemy upon her longsword with a two-handed thrust, killing him instantly with the terrible blow. As she thrusts the cruel humanoid off of her weapon with a shove, his fall into the dewy grass seems to be the death blow to the morale of the remaining soldiers. The tide of the battle has turned, and with their leader slain, each Bugbear found themselves full of dread and lacking resolve, turning to flee for their lives. Though some words of mercy are spoken, the point is made by Natalia that their foe will but regroup and find easier prey, so the party pays their debts, spells and crossbows firing into the retreating enemies around Natalia's bellowing form, while they make sure each cowardly goblinoid felt the same hospitality that they had given out. None lived to see the next sunrise, and with no signs of the camp's inhabitants, the group turns to their task, after sharing a few words of hope that they safely escaped.
You climb to the top of the hill and find a set of stairs that lead down into a dilapidated ancient dungeon. The floor seems to be cut of some kind of hexagonal sandstone, and there are large pillars in each corner of the room that are covered in strange writings. Does anyone here speak Infernal?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, it's my one character trait.
They actually don't say any specific words. It is more like a string of sounds, the kind that you would find in some kind of incantation or chant.
Okay. What?
It doesn't tell you what the incantation or chant does. It just...
No, but what's the string of sounds?
You walk around it in a clockwise circle, and it says, Ra Ra Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen.
Alright, cool. Can I also run a history or a perception check on it?
You can roll a history on it, yeah. Things like this are often used in everything from summoning rituals to ritual sacrifices to the lower planes.
I fucking knew it!
All
I
right.
don't like this.
As you turn the short corridor, it leads into a small chamber. This one, likewise, has 4 columns, and as Natalia steps there into that square, a nearby set of fairy fire-like lights light up the columns.
Is fairy fire safe to touch?
I don't know.
Reach out and touch it. Or alternatively, poke it with a stick. I mean, you have a stick.
Yes, I have a 10-foot pole.
You poke it with a stick. The end of your stick comes back completely unburnt, actually. As if the fairy fire does not burn it at all. The large set of webs that are blocking the western entryway goes from floor to ceiling, covering the entire 10-foot corridor. It's possible that you may be able to climb your way through there, but not sticking against it or disturbing the webs would probably prove relatively difficult.
We just should go around. Go the other way.
Stop there.
Stopping here.
And Angie triggers the trap.
Why are there traps here?
Because we're here to be sacrificed.
As you step onto one of the hexagonal plates, there are a series of soft whistling sounds as several dozen darts shoot across the corridor.
Oh no. This was not part of the job.
Angie says weakly as she gets struck by 2 poison darts.
Oh no.
This was not part of the job. Thud.
And that is where we will leave the best available for now. Narrowly averting potential disaster for the town in quite the random encounter, they shall now match their skills against the dungeon known as Spinner's Hole. Is Natalia right, and have the bright and cheery townsfolk truly signed them up to have their lives end in this dungeon? Or will the party manage to overcome this trial and prove their worthiness once again, thus taking another step on the road to Undermountain? Join us next time and find out how this webbed adventure unfolds. In other news, this also marks the beginning of the next arc of TBA's epic journey, and thus the full live play is being released for Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee supporters to watch. So if you want a much more verbose look at how the full session went, want to see more of the behind-the-scenes footage of me overseeing their trials,
or make sure you don't miss a single millisecond of his marvelous and incessant munching,
I already apologize for the old microphone. Besides, Doritos are delicious.
but at what cost?
Anyway, if you want to see that, come pledge at any level and you'll get access to those arcs as they release in time with their completion in the web series. You'll also get access to our private Discord to chat with the players, the DMs, and even join games. There are a few currently recruiting right now, so feel free to drop in anytime. And that's about it for that. Now, on to the people who make this entire thing possible, the artists and supporters that can bring this to you. In the power tier, we have Scorpius187, Doodle Poodle, Jay Jones, and William Smith. In the planar tier, we have PPNTT807, CJ, Someone, All Is Fiction, Darth Cavalier, Joshua Williams, and Silent Angel. In the adventurer tier, we have Bastion Falconwrath, John R300, Shadowmencer, Alex, Justin, @BreezeBender, Mystics, Katie, Aiden Marrow, Jaroslav Noga, and the Rosula Streaming Network. In the Quest Giver tier, we have V, Slathar Silcom, and Robert Mischief. In the Townsfolk tier, we have Night Archer, Ali Bailey, Scott Stedman, Sergeant Humpty, Shugenja, Spirit Radio, and Tom Brazeau. Thank you all so much for making this possible. And as always, that thanks comes directly from our creative team, Doodle Poodle, Nala Fontaine, Shadow Wolf, Scorpius187, and MC Cheshire, with the Forever DM, me.